What can I say about Hades that has not been said already? The game has already been nominated and won multiple awards and has become critically acclaimed by many. I would go as far to say it has mastered the roguelike genre, and every roguelike from here on out should strive for the same quality Hades brings to the table. The reason I say this is because it is the first roguelike game to dig its hooks into me, where many before it have failed. I think what separates Hades from the rest is the deep storytelling and the characters that continue to evolve in each run, the setting and art direction that drew me into the game in the first place because I love me some Greek mythology, and seeing it here in Hades is a sight to behold. All topped off with phenomenal music, voice acting, and sound design within the game, and finally, the addicting gameplay loop that I thought was going to turn me off like the rest, but instead, made me want to just stay up till 3 AM just to go for another dungeon run. I believe that Hades' setting and story is what really drew me into purchasing this game on my Nintendo Switch. Now, I was hesitant at first, because I knew it was a game that fell into the roguelike genre, a genre that I've had bad luck in the past. Long story short, I've basically given up on the genre in general, because I have been in the situation before where I buy a roguelike game, play it for a couple hours, and just stop, just because I did not like what I was playing. But, as I said previously, I love me some Greek mythology, and all the lore behind it. I just wanted to sink my teeth into this game for that reason alone, and after countless hours in Hades, I do not regret it. You play Zagreus, the son of Hades, who seems to despise his father for multiple reasons, and reasons you will discover within the story. The goal of the game is to escape where you and your father reside, Tartarus, and make it to Mount Olympus with the other gods. To do this, you will go through many dungeons like Tartarus, Asphodel, and more, against countless bosses and enemies as you repeat the dungeons repeatedly till you succeed, hence the roguelike genre aspect of the game. Along the way, you will meet a colorful cast of characters like Achilles, the mentor who wants to help you escape, the shy, love-struck Dusa who only wants Zagreus to notice her, the Furies who will try their best to stop you with each run, Thanatos, the childhood friend who does not want you to leave, all the way to even the gods themselves who try their best to help you escape with each run. This is not where the story ends either, because there's more to it than just escaping Tartarus, as you discover more and more about your father with each run you perform within the dungeons. Now, what is a setting without amazing visuals to help enhance the experience? I cannot stress this enough. Supergiant Games knocked it out of the park with the art direction and graphic style they were aiming for. Granted, many of their previous titles had a somewhat similar art direction and graphics, but there's just something about Hades and seeing characters you've seen in other entertainment mediums depicted the way Supergiant Games has done here. The world and the characters in it are all colorful and vibrant in their own way. From the crimson red Cerberus as he stands right beside your crimson red, gold, and black armored father, as they both tower everyone around them, all the way to the bright dark green that Tartarus represents, and the bright yellow and red lava that represents Asphodel. This game is just a sight to behold from beginning to end, and I would be lying if I did not say that was just as important as the gameplay and story, because it only enhanced the experience that much more. The music in Hades is just what you would imagine you would be listening to when playing a game that involves escaping hell. The Greek bouzouki plays soft Greek-like melodies during the softer parts of the game, like the title screen or within the House of Hades. And during the battle, especially in boss fights, it intensifies, transitioning into a more metal-sounding electric guitar that is ramped up to 1,000, trying to get you pumped up for the battles you are involved in. Oh, did I fail to mention the voice acting? As you watch the gameplay, all the text boxes you have seen are fully voice acted. So no need for the reading unless you are in a hurry. But why would you want to rush with the beautiful voice work done in the game? Especially the main character Zagreus, played by Darren Korb, who takes a more lighthearted, carefree approach, all while having the ability to get serious, especially with confrontations with his father Hades. Speaking of Hades, who is played by Logan Cunningham, does a phenomenal job using his voice to instill fear into your heart. You just know by the sound of his voice, Hades is feared by all, and you should be afraid once you face him. And that is only 2 of the voice actors in the game, with a full plethora of characters like all the gods you can imagine, all the way to the minor characters like Zagreus' friends. As I said previously, what roguelike games normally have going for them is the gameplay loop it provides, as many find it addicting to go dungeon after dungeon repeatedly trying to find new ways to conquer it and become stronger in the process. Personally, I do not enjoy this gameplay loop. It can get repetitive real quickly, and to be quite honest, it has turned me away from the roguelike genre altogether. Hades, however, found a way for me to enjoy the game, and I cannot really pinpoint exactly what the game does right, because it does a lot right. First, the game gives you a variety of weapons you can choose from. Now, I may be wrong, but I do not recall many roguelike games that started you out early with this feature. But it is great to decide which weapon you want from the start, be it a sword, bow, or shield. My personal favorites would have to be the Stygian Blade and the Adamant Rail you unlocked after a couple of runs in the dungeon. Second, no dungeon run in the game is the same, not just because of the weapons you get to choose, but also the abilities you get within each dungeon run. They vary from god to god and from upgrade to upgrade. This makes it so you're never bored whenever you feel like jumping into a new dungeon run, and you'll get to experience new things as you meet new characters and unlock new dialogue along the way. A good example of this, without spoiling too much, is me meeting a new goddess for the first time after beating the game. This was a shock, since at this point I thought I met all the gods, but apparently the game still had a surprise or two in store for me. And finally, death itself is probably one of the most exciting aspects of the game. What if I told you the further I got into the dungeon, the more excited I got to redo it all over again? This is because when you die and start over, you are brought back home with new stuff to discover, as the game not only adds on to the story as you do this, but also gives you the opportunity to upgrade Zagreus even more so you can get further into the next dungeon run. This gameplay loop is addicting, so much so that it has kept me up till 4 AM at times, and that is just not something a game has had me do in a long time. Writing this review just made me want to go back and play the game some more, and that really speaks volumes of how much I enjoyed my time with Hades. The story and setting and art direction were just enough to draw my attention and make me take a chance on a genre I fully believed I would never enjoy playing again. But Hades proved me wrong. The gameplay loop and the progression are going to keep me away from ever putting this amazing game down. And do your ears a favor and add the Hades original soundtrack to your playlist on Spotify or iTunes, because you will not want to stop listening to the amazing music this game has to offer. If you cannot tell by now, I think this game is a masterpiece, and to be quite honest, I see no flaws within the game whatsoever. I will score this game a perfect 10 out of 10. My very first 10 out of 10. Oh, and did I forget to mention you can pet Cerberus? That alone is a 10 out of 10. Any game that lets you pet a dog is a 10 out of 10. Joking aside, I can't recommend this game enough. Now, if you will excuse me, I will be busy trying to complete another dungeon run.